Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to study about spatial parameters. Okay, so in the previous lectures, we have already seen keyword arguments and default argument values, right? We were going through the different ways of calling function, defining function. So those things we have covered in the last lecture. In this particular video, we are going to study about spatial parameters, right? So here what happens, by default arguments may be passed to a Python function either by position or explicitly by keyword. This is what we have seen in the previous lectures. If you have not watched, then you can go and watch them. Okay, so we have seen that Python functions can have we can pass the values either in positional format, right, or otherwise explicitly by keywords. Now, for readability and performance, it makes sense to restrict the way arguments can be passed. Okay, so the thing is that when big applications and all you are making, in that case, for increasing the readability and performance and all, it is suggested that we restrict the ways how arguments can be passed, right? That means it can be passed as positional arguments or it can be passed as keyword arguments, or both are allowed. These things, if we mention explicitly, then it is better for the programmers, right? That is what is written here, that passed so that a developer need only look at the function definition to determine if items are passed by position or keyword, or by keyword, right? So this is what it is saying. So developers can only see the function definition directly, and they can understand that what kind of arguments can be passed to this particular function, right? Now, so for doing that, what we can do, actually the function definition can look like this. Okay, so here what is there, definitely the def keyword we are going to use. After that, whatever function name you want to pass, that can be there, and after that we can pass the arguments in this way, right? So here first of all, what is there, position 1, position 2. So if we are writing like this, then these arguments means these are positional only arguments. Okay, that means here whatever values will be passed, that will be the values will be assigned as per the positions. Okay, after that something new is present here, and that is this slash, right? So only the slash can be present here in the function definition as one of the parameter. Now what is the meaning of this, that we are going to understand in the next lines. Okay, but after slash, what we can have, after here whatever arguments you are passing, that can be positional or keyword. So that is the meaning here. And after that, asterisk also. So these are the two characters which are allowed in the definition of the function, and they hold some spatial meaning which we are going to study. And after asterisk, whatever is there, that can be only keyword arguments, right? So let us see in detail. So this is going to be the overall syntax of how you can define such functions. Now let us understand more in detail, right? So here, as it is said that slash and asterisk, these are optional, of course, right? Before this, in the previous lectures, whatever functions we have written, there we have not written any slash or asterisk. That means it is optional, right? But the thing is that if we use it, then these symbols indicate the kind of parameter by how the arguments may be passed, right? So how we can pass the arguments, that we can understand by these characters. Okay, now what are the various ways? Okay, so the arguments can be positional only, it can be positional or keyword, or it can be keyword only. So these are the various ways of arguments how we can pass and call a function. Okay, so now first of all, let us understand positional or keyword argument. So that means in the argument we can pass positional values also and keyword values also. Okay, both are allowed. So for that case, what we can do, actually for that case we don't have to use these two characters, right? So if both of these are not present, in that case we will understand that arguments may be passed in any manner, right? By position also or by keyword also, which is the most common way which we have always done till now. Okay, now the thing is that if let us say you want the arguments to be passed only according to positions, keywords will not be allowed, right? Only you want that argument should be passed according to positions. Okay, in that case what we have to do, in that case we have to use this slash. Okay, forward slash has to be used. So if you read the lines, what it is saying, looking at this in a bit more detail, it is possible to mark certain parameters as positional only. Again, it is not that slash, if you're using that, then only positional you can pass, but the thing is that okay, so certain parameters you can make as positional only as per the requirement, right? Now, so if positional only, the parameters order matters. So this we know, right? The name itself says position, right? So that means whatever order we are passing to the parameters, that matters. And the parameters cannot be passed by keyword. So this is the main restriction which we are putting, that if we are using slash, then by keywords we cannot pass those arguments, okay? So positional only parameters are placed before slash. So that is why here slash was written, right? So if you are writing slash, then before that whatever arguments are there, by default they become what? They become positional only. So that means before this everything is positional, and so here any keyword you cannot write while you are calling the function, and in whatever order you are passing the values, in that order only it will be assigned to the respective parameters, right? So this is the meaning. So slash if you are using, then before that whatever parameters are there, arguments are there, they are positional only arguments, okay? So that is the significance of slash, okay? All right, so positional parameters are placed before a forward slash. Now the slash is used to logically separate the positional only parameters from the rest of the parameters, right? So it will separate it out. Now if there is no forward slash in the function definition, there are no positional only parameters. Of course, if slash we are not writing, then that means the arguments can be passed as keyword also, by writing keyword also, or maybe positional also. In that case any such restriction is not there, right? So I hope it is clear. Read it by yourself also, it will become more clear to you, okay? Now parameters following the slash may be positional or keyword only, right? So after slash, you can just go back to the syntax. So after slash whatever is there, here whatever things are there, they can be keyword only also, or they can be positional or keyword also, as you can see, right? But in these two also, if you want to make some kind of separation, then you have to use the asterisk character, which you can understand from here, right? So let us read that now. So here we are having keyword only arguments. That means such arguments where only keywords are used. Okay, you have to pass keyword. So such kind of arguments are known as keyword only arguments. Okay. Now to mark parameters as keyword only, what we have to do, we have to, indicating the parameters must be passed by keyword argument. So for that, what we have to place? We have to place asterisk character, okay, in the argument list just before the first keyword only parameter, right? So first of all, you have to place the asterisk symbol. After that, whatever parameters you're writing, they will become keyword only. That means for them, you have to assign the values by writing the keyword when you're calling the function, right? Okay. So I hope it is clear. Now here multiple examples are there which you can copy the same code, or you can write some other code by yourself, and you can see that how we can do this, right? So since here clearly some examples are written, and also along with their input and output and everything is written, so I am not particularly showing any separate practicals, okay? We can understand these examples itself. So like the first one, you can see it is said only that it is a standard argument, because this is the most common how we write generally, right? That arg is written. Now here slash and asterisk both are not there, so this particular function can be called in any manner, right? We can call it just as positional argument also, or keyword argument also. So that is what example has been shown here, okay? So that standard arg we are calling by passing 2, okay? So this is positional argument, so in the respective position it will be assigned and 2 is printed, and otherwise arg equal to, so this becomes keyword argument in that case, right? So like this also we can call it. Both are valid and you will get the output, okay? After that, you can see here positional only argument is there, right? Now how to define that we have already studied, that you have to, at last you have to put a slash. Before that whatever is there, everything will be considered as positional argument, okay? So for this case you cannot write any keyword. So as you can see here, positional only argument, you can call it by some value, like here 1 has been passed, so that is fine. But in this, if you are trying to use keyword argument, then you will get error. So please try it by yourself and you will also get similar error. Okay. After that, the third one, if we see, here we are having keyword only argument. So for that case, what we have to do, we have to write the asterisk first. So remember, okay, that slash is put at last, but asterisk we have to put before all the keyword arguments. Okay, so after this, whatever is there, like here arg is there, this we have to call using keywords only, otherwise we cannot. Okay, so you can see the example here. So here it is getting called only by 3. So this is positional argument, right? But this is not allowed, and that is why we are getting this type error. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to write it using keyword. So that is why arg equal to 3. If this is how you are calling, then you will get the proper output. So I hope it is clear that how it is able to restrict the ways how we call it. Okay, after that, we are having here combined example, right? This is another function. So here if you see, then it is written in the definition, we can have positional arguments also. We can have the standard where positional, keyword both are allowed, and then keyword only, right? So this is how also one function you can define. So for this, we can see the examples. So here okay, this function has been called. So as you can see, combined example. So here 1 2 3 is passed, right? But this is wrong. Why? Because the first one will be considered as positional argument, that is fine. 2 can be positional or keyword, right? So here it is positional, which is fine. But the third one, because asterisk is there, right? If you notice here, asterisk is there, and after that one argument. So this, the last one you have to pass as keyword argument, but here only 3 is getting passed, and that is why type error is coming. Okay, after that, the next one, as you can see here, 1 is passed, which is the first one, which is positional only, which is fine. Then 2 is passed. Here position, keyword both can be there, so here position is there, which is okay. And the third one has to be keyword only, so that is also followed here, and that is why here any error is not there, and we are getting the proper output. Okay, similarly in the next one, as in the second one, we are having the choice. It can be positional also and keyword also. So here keyword has been passed, which is also fine. So that is why we are getting 1 2 3. But again, the very first argument, it is position only, right? But here it is passed as keyword. So again, this is not allowed. And in the last one, we are getting again type error. Okay, so this is how this slash and asterisk we have to use. Okay, now finally, consider this function definition, which is present over here, which has a potential collision between the positional argument name and this double asterisk keyword. Okay, so here about one particular case it has been discussed, which you have to keep in mind. Okay, so here what is there, that first of all, name is taken. So this word, this name, right, it is present over here, and after that here double asterisk and then keywords is there. So in the previous lecture only I have discussed that here rest, whatever after the positional arguments, whatever remaining keyword arguments are there, that will be considered as a dictionary, and it will be stored in this particular argument, right? So now in that dictionary, key value pairs are there. So there, if you are having any key whose key name is this name, right, NAME, if this is there, then that particular value will be stored in this argument and not in the second one, because name conflicts is there, right? So it will be considered in the position one. So this is something, this is a critical condition which you have to notice. Okay, so as you can see here, there is no possible call that will make it return true as the keyword name. So if any name, because here what we are checking, what is the condition here, that name in keywords. So whatever that dictionary is created, in that dictionary any key is there or not whose name is name, right? Now, so in this case it will never become true, because that particular value will be stored always in this particular variable, or you can say parameter, not in keywords. Okay, so I hope you're getting it. So true, as the keyword name will always bind to the first parameter. That is what I'm trying to say, right? This name will be always bound to the first parameter. For example, it has been called in this manner, like this function you're calling, and in that definitely the name, this one, the first one is positional argument, so you have to pass some value, right? So one has been passed, and after that, in this keyword what you're passing some other key value pair, right, which will be considered as the dictionary. But the thing is that here this name will map to this. Actually it will think that for this keyword argument you are passing some value, right? So 2 it will try to store here, but 1 is already present, so 1 and 2, this conflict is coming, and so the error is type error, and it is saying that foo got multiple values for argument name. Okay, so I hope it is clear that this is something which you have to keep in mind. Okay, so but it is not that it is impossible, you can avoid this kind of situation. So for that you have to use this positional only arguments, because of which you have to use the slash character, right? So it is possible, since it allows name as a positional argument. Now it is possible because one, when we are passing, one will be stored in name, right? So that is positional only, it is completed. After that slash is there, and then after that whatever is there, that will be considered properly as a dictionary and stored in this keywords. So now any such kind of issue will not happen, right? So I hope it is clear. Now in other words, the names of positional only parameters can be used in keywords without ambiguity. So if we are using positional only arguments, then that means indirectly if we are using this slash character, then such kind of ambiguity will not happen. Otherwise such kind of errors we are going to get, right? So I hope this point is clear, and after this we can take a recap that as a summary, right, that what all things has been discussed. So here you understood that how we can restrict the ways how parameters can be passed. Okay, but the next question is that when should we use what, and that is what is mentioned here. Okay, so it is recommended that we should use positional only, right, if you want the name of the parameters to not be available to the user, right? So in that case you can use positional only argument, because otherwise for keywords, if you're passing keywords, that means what, that means you know the names of the parameters of that function. Now if you don't want the user to know that, in that case you keep it only positional argument, so that they can only pass values, not the keywords. Okay, now this is useful when parameter names have no real meaning, if you want to enforce the order of the arguments when the function is called, or if you need to take some positional parameters and arbitrary keywords. So if these are your requirements, then you should go for positional only arguments. Okay, after that the next question is when you should go for keyword only arguments. So use keyword only when names have meaning, whatever names you're using, right, that has some particular meaning. In that case you can go for keyword only arguments. Okay, and the function definition is more understandable by being explicit with names. So whatever function has been defined, that better you can understand only if names and all, you know that if these names are passed to the function, then you can understand that this function is going to perform this. That means names play a very important role. If that is the case, then you should go with keyword only arguments. Okay, or let us say you want to prevent users relying on the position of the arguments being passed. If you want to give the users some flexibility, that not only based on position, you can just change the order and you can call the function in any way. Okay, just values matter. In that case, if that flexibility you want to provide, then also you can go for keyword only arguments. Okay, now for an API we should use positional only to prevent breaking API changes if the parameter's name is modified in the future, right? Because APIs are something which are updated and changed time to time, right? So in that case, if we rely on the parameter, then later if the parameter names and all are changed, then again the way we are calling with whatever keywords, that will vary a lot, right? So such kind of issues might happen. That is why if you're developing some kind of API and all using Python, then you should go for positional only arguments, right? So I hope this everything is clear to you. Please read it by yourself, and if you're having any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. And I'm ending the lecture here. Thank you.